Hello, Global Read Aloud readers. As promised, I'm Lynda Mullaly Hunt, and I'm here to answer a couple of your questions about One for the Murphys. So, I'd gotten the question from several different teachers and kids about the inspiration for One for the Murphys, and also whether it is based on me or not. And I think I can answer both of those questions kind of at the same time. The first place that One for the Murphys came from is a place that you might find surprising, actually. It came from a movie called Star Wars. And for those of you who've seen Star Wars, you know that Star Wars and One for the Murphys don't have a whole lot in common. But what happened is my son was obsessed with Star Wars for a while, and every time we were talking about Star Wars. And we had a conversation about Luke Skywalker in that movie. And he finds out who his father is. And he's very happy to find out who his father is. But he's also very unhappy to find out who his father is. And I started to think about what would it be like to create a character that really longed for something, like she had to have it to be happy, yet didn't want the very same thing. So that rolled around in my head for about 3 weeks, and I was rinsing a plate at the sink, and I heard the voice of a girl in my head, an 8th grade girl, and she said, "I asked the nurse how long I've been out." So originally, the first 3 chapters of One for the Murphys in the first draft took place in the hospital. But on one of my very late revisions, I actually think it was the night before that it went to my publisher, I cut those 3 chapters off because the heart of the story begins with the Murphys, and I thought it was better to get Carly to their doorstep as fast as possible. So I did take those off. So you might be surprised that a book like One for the Murphys came from Star Wars, but that was actually what got me to start writing it. The other experience that I had, which also answers both questions as to my inspiration for the book and does it have something to do with me, is that when I was young, we kind of had some tough times. And one of those things that we dealt with sometimes is that we would get evicted and we'd have to find another place to live. Which, what evicted means is that you can't pay your rent and the sheriff comes and you have to leave. They move your stuff out and they change the locks. So you can understand that might be a little stressful. But the thing is my family and my mother was a very hard worker. And she found herself with this new job, the kind of job that could really help us, and nowhere for me to go. I was only about 7 years old. So I did go live with another family for a while. It was not foster care. It was, they were family members and I knew them, but it was still a very stunning experience. It was, they did things that we didn't do at home, like they sat around the dinner table and they had dinner together. And we never did that. I mean, we were more of a fend for yourself crowd, which never bothered me as a kid because it's all I knew. But I did see a lot of things with that family in about 3 months that I did find surprising. And by the time I left that family, I did have a very good idea of what I wanted someday. And I did carry that with me. And it did affect a lot of decisions that I made later on, in trying to reach that goal. Because, some of the biggest goals, the most important goals, those are the goals that take like stamina, grit, like the ones you really have to sit with. The ones that you're going to hit obstacles, you're going to run into problems, but you hang in there and you stand up and you brush yourself off and you move forward. So I did reach those goals, but I did go through some hard times, like disagreeing with friends in high school that wanted to say go down different roads that I just didn't want anything to do with. And I think that those experiences had a lot to do with that stay with that family when I was 7. So no doubt at all that One for the Murphys did also come from that stay with that other family. This idea of being dropped into another world and seeing a side of life you didn't think existed, that definitely did come from me. The other question I received that I thought I would answer is somebody asked me how I chose Carly's name. And actually, the last name Connors is my family name. My great-great-grandmother Lizzie Connors is where I got Carly's name from. And in fact, in my second book, Fish in a Tree, which is coming out in February of 2015, the main character is named Allie Nickerson, and Nickerson is after my great-great-grandfather on my other side of the family. So I actually always name my main characters after one of my ancestors. I don't know if it makes me feel more connected to them or what, but that's what I do. Also, I like the name. I had the last name Connors, and I knew that was her last name, but I like the alliteration, the sound of the two names that both start with the same letter, Carly Connors. Mr. Reuben, I named him after Sandwich because I thought he was kind of goofy. In terms of the brothers, the Murphy brothers, my brother, Michael Eric, actually passed away when we were young, about just before his 4th birthday he passed away. And so when I sat back to think of how I would name the brothers, that's how I decided I would begin, is I named the youngest one after him, Michael Eric. And then to name the other ones, I thought, well, how would Carly feel being dropped into the Murphy family? She'd probably be mad. So Michael Eric, M, Adam, A, and Daniel, D. So actually, the names of the brothers are the acronym for MAD. That just popped into my head. I like to play with words and letters and stuff, just like Carly does. And let's see, Tony, if you've read the book, I don't want to give anything away, actually. I don't think you've gotten there, but you're going to find out where Tony got her name. And Julie Murphy, I got her name because I wanted her to have the same initials as somebody who started out sort of being the impetus for Julie Murphy. And then she sort of turned into more of a mixture of the two of us. But I wanted her to have the initials JM, and I knew that they were an Irish family, so that started off with Julie Murphy. So I think I'm starting to ramble a little bit. But so I've answered a couple of questions. I hope that you guys will go to my blog after you've read some more chapters. Ask me some questions. Try to come up with something really, interesting, something I've never been asked before, and I'll choose some and I'll answer them for you next week. So I hope you guys are enjoying the book. Again, I'm really honored and really happy that you chose one for the Murphys. Thank you very much. I hope you and your teachers are enjoying it, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.